Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, Keither.B of the Keither.B podcast. And as promised, we're going to do part two with my in-studio guest. I've got JT back in the house, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Once again, JT.
Welcome to be back.
Welcome, JT, a.k.a. Cooking with the Sergeant.
Go ahead. You talk about that. I got shit. I'm trying to be secretive about it and shit.
I kind of bombarded JT at part two. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I start with Cooking with the Sergeant? Because I didn't touch on that on part one. And he's like, yeah, I guess. Go ahead. So let's just go ahead and kick it off with like a little clip that I went ahead and chose. And here you go, looking lean and mean, my man.
Still young, and hopefully I get laid from this shit.
Hey, so this is your YouTube channel called Cooking with the Sergeant, and this one is you're making a shish kebab,
right?
Shish kebab with Cooking with the Sergeant. Here we go.
Step fucking 3.
Whoa, we went straight to step 3.
I don't know. We skipped a step 1, step 2. Fuck it. I'm fast pacing that shit.
Hey, third step's the chunk.
Find yourself some type of pungy stick. I don't give a fuck if it's a clothes hanger, or some metal stick, or some bamboo stick. We're going to need it to make a shish kebab, or whatever fucking elements you choose to make it with. I don't give a fuck if you're using pork, sheep, fucking a goat. We're making a shish kebab. You're cooking with me right now. So we're gonna slow and smooth as fast and fuck this shit.
Yeah, that fool scares me and shit. My young me scares me and shit. Like, fuck.
Yeah, man, I was disappointed you stopped making those videos, man. Definitely get back into that.
I should. Probably, I want to say sometime this year, but shit. But I want to see how many subscribers I'm going to get and shit before I decide.
Hey, everybody, if you don't know about Cooking with the Sergeant, JT's YouTube channel, go check it out. He hasn't made a video in a little bit, but he's going to get back into it. We're going to put a link to that on the description of this video. You can go click on it. So man, where did we leave off on part 1? I want to say we left off on
I think we were still in Japan.
You going to bars in Japan?
Yeah, shit.
Okinawa.
Yeah.
How is it going to bars in Okinawa, man? Do you guys get rowdy being in the Marines going to Okinawa? I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't really do the Japanese locals, do they get rowdy like Americans do at bars?
No, not at bars and stuff. They do if it's a mix with Western culture and shit. So you got everything because I remember going to Okinawa. They got the best heavy metal bands in Okinawa, and they're fucking like doing those mosh pit shit and stuff and everything.
Yeah, you know, it seems like I hear that Japan bars and the Japan street scene, it kind of mimics the United States. Like the whole Need for Speed, the hot rod scene.
It does, but you know, they're more advanced before the U.S. started getting, because when I was in Okinawa and stuff, they had those little tiny DJ spinners and stuff and everything before it was even introduced into the U.S. So they had it long before, because we were still on records and stuff and everything. They got these little tiny turntables and stuff and everything. I remember the DJs playing them, and the Japanese DJs and stuff.
Man, I bet it's really cool. Oh fuck, I want to go. I mean,
yeah.
What about you? You ever get into any action over there in the bars? Like any disagreements?
Not.
You know what I'm low key kind of aiming at. You know.
You know what? It wasn't outside of like where the locals are at and stuff. It was my first incident at a bar was on base. So I remember Camp Foster. So this place called the Eagle Globe and Anchor, but Marines call it the hook and jab, because there's a reason why it gets its name, because supposedly there's a lot of bar fights and stuff, so they call it a hook and jab.
So Eagle Globe and Anchor is what it's called.
Yeah, on Camp Foster.
On Camp Foster, but it's kind of like just the nickname is the hook and jab.
Yes, the nickname was the hook and jab. They knew what you were talking about when you said that I'm going to the hook and jab and stuff. So because because a lot of the base that we want to go to the club. Like, dude, I'm trying to, so Air Force Base, they got like the hottest chicks there. Not the hottest next to the Marines. The Marines, but when it comes to hot chicks, right? You got the Air Force, the Marines, then the Army, then the Navy. Okay.
Well, you got to think everybody's fit, right? PT.
Yeah.
Everybody's exercising.
But I wanted to go to like Air Force Base, but we're not allowed there because the Air Force find it hilarious. They'll sometimes write like in crayons that say no Marines. So Marines aren't allowed in their club on base. We could go on base, the Air Force Base, but we're not allowed in the club because supposedly we have a reputation of
carnage.
Yeah. So at the bar and so we stick to Camp Foster, which is well known. If you're stationed, if any Marines stationed on Okinawa, they know where the hook and jab was and stuff. So anyways, going back and stuff.
Yeah.
So this was the first incident. It wasn't. I don't really call it a bar fight, but I mean, for me, because I mean, yeah, it was a bar fight, but funny story was
okay.
I was knocked the fuck out while I was taking a shit. So
you passed out. You weren't
I kind of
knocked out.
passed out.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I kind of passed out and shit.
Yeah,
right?
Passed out, fell asleep. What do you want to say? Okay, you weren't knocked out. Just be clear.
So I remember my boy Hernandez was calling me by my last name and shit and stuff and everything. So I'm still aware of shit. You're like paralyzed and shit. You know what's going on, but it's like your body can't move, right? So he's yelling at my head. All I heard is that, right here,
Yeah.
And this motherfucker, hey, we gotta go. Go where? Go home. All right. And this motherfucker, I take his shit like, so he crawls under the bathroom stalls. He stares at me.
Yeah.
I'm like paralyzed, taking the shit, right? That's how much I was fucked up, right? He crawls under the shit. I'm fucked up and shit. But before I start what took place, let me go back. So you had to be 21 to drink at this place, right? But 18 years old still could go there, right? But they need a wristband and shit.
Gotcha.
So I had one of the older Marines, right, that I was with, give me a wristband and shit, and he went to get another one. So I was like fucked up. I was like probably 19 at that time, right? Maybe 19. Yeah, 19 at that time. I think I was 19 at the time. So that's how going back to me being fucked up in the bathroom stall while I was taking the shit.
All right.
So
had a little too many.
Yeah.
A lot many.
So my boy Hernandez, he fucking crawling there. I usually don't like to use people's last name, but there's so many fucking Mexican dude with the last name Hernandez and shit, so you can't tell him. But anyways, he crawled through there and shit and stuff. He dragged me down. I think I fell flat on a shit while I was still taking a shit, bro.
Wow. So you're dirty down there.
You're dirty.
You got.
But he took care of me. That motherfucker wiped my ass and shit and everything. He wiped my ass. He cleaned it.
Wow. Talking about having.
Hey, that's a brotherhood, bro. That's brother, bro.
Your boy's back.
So
what a memory for him as well.
Yeah. So he pulled up my pants and shit and stuff over this all. So he got out. As I was going in, I'm still like paralyzed, but I'm still knowing what's going on, everything, right?
Yeah.
So I see a bunch of cheers once again, cheers flying and stuff and everything and all that, because it wasn't just him that I showed up, because I came here. I went to the bar with we called the Godfather. That was his name.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why we called him the Godfather. At that time, we thought he was old. Now I'm almost half a century, but he was 25 going in the Marine Corps and shit, older than most people that, you know,
Gotcha.
are you 18, 19, so we call him the Godfather. So he was there with us and stuff, and there was a couple other guys. But anyways, so the chairs were flying and stuff and everything. So I'm on his shoulder. He's walking me out and shit. Then I saw this, I think his name was Sergeant Riley or whatever. Anyways, he committed suicide like fucking like 6 or 7. I never really liked it. This guy was like a mean fucking
Oh wow.
like motherfucker. So we call it like he was he'd been in like the Marine Corps for like since fucking the 70s and 80s. So he was like what they call it, like not grandfather in, what's that word? Sanctuary and stuff and everything. So he was an E5, still a sergeant, but in the age, but him and our first sergeant were like winning the Marines together, but for many years, but he never picked up. I don't know what happened. Like about all I know, I heard from other people that he committed suicide and stuff and everything during when he was still in active duty because he was in the Marine Corps. But anyways, at that time, I never really had respect. So he's looking at me, right?
Yeah.
And he's questioning me like, damn, you know, like if I was old enough for this age, but we just saying, so he's trying to stop us. Hey, he's fucking, I need to go bring him, you know. So he's focused on other things because it's other because he was on duty. Sometimes they get assigned to on duty staff like that, what we call the non-commissioned officer, was like NCOs and stuff. So they show up to make, if there's an incident, they show up and stuff and everything to kind of de-escalate the situation before anybody get arrested by you know the what we call the PMO, which is military police, but the Marine call it post marshal office, the PMO for short and stuff. So he shows up. I don't know what happened. So I'm out the door and shit. Like fuck, dude. So I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking in the back of my head, am I gonna get burned for underage drinking shit? So fuck. So that went in back of my head, but hopefully everything was cool. But so we get back on the Libel bus. So we call it a Libel bus because we were stationed in Camp Schwab. So from Camp Schwab to Foster is about probably a 35-minute ride and stuff. So we get on the Libel bus and shit. It takes us back to Camp Schwab, right? So here at Camp Schwab, so we get off the Libel bus, right? So I was so fucking confused which direction is going back to the barracks and shit, because we live in this place called the Dickey Barracks and shit. So it's right on the beach line. So we have on the Dickey Barracks, we have the best view. We're right there on the beach. We could see the ocean in our back window. That's how nice.
Wow.
Nice it was and stuff.
By all means, yeah.
So we have the ocean back there and shit, right? So it drops. I remember the steep hill, right? Man, I think I fucking bumped my head too much because I remember getting on the level desk trying to get a shortcut. Then I was tumbling this deep because in Okinawa sometimes it has these steep hill, but on the bottom of these steep hills is this big gutter that's with cement, right? So I kind of probably knocked myself out rolling down there and it hit my head. So I came to in daze. I think it was a big bash, and somebody got me again and going back to the barracks and shit. So our barracks was like the Marine Corps was so cheap back then. It was a 4-man room. So we had like 2 bunks here and 2 bunks right here. So it was like a 4-man, like kind of like a fucking 4-man room and shit and stuff. So you got a bunk and shit. That's all the shit. It's like, anyways, we got back. So the Godfather was my roommate at that time and shit. I woke up and shit the next day, right? This motherfucker had fucking 8 staples on the back of his head. I asked him, what the fuck happened and shit stuff. His head got smashed with Corona bottles several times and shit during the bar fight. You know what I say? If I were to be still not fucked up, I think I would probably been hooking, jabbing, probably lose some ranks and get in trouble and shit. But what started all this, I later found out that because it was during salsa night, right?
Yeah.
So somebody pissed on somebody's flag. I think it was the Mexican that pissed on a Puerto Rican flag that started the fucking bar fight.
That will start a bar fight every day of the week anywhere, I think. Wow. What's going on with that, man? Hey, well, at least you got your ass cleaned, right?
I got my ass clean over here. I felt bad, bro.
Yeah, hey.
Shit, I don't even remember taking the shower the next day and shit.
Well, I mean, you go to the bar to
Yeah.
you're drinking. Yeah, I mean, you're getting lit. You're not thinking you're gonna be introduced to a bar fight, right? That's not the intent when you first go. So, I mean, it is.
And, and plus,
it is
I'm
what
trying
it
to
is.
avoid trouble because it's a no in the Marine Corps for underage drinking.
Oh, that's correct.
Yeah, so I will be burned and shit and stuff. So they will burn you within a quickness.
Now, when these you said chairs were flying, these big bar fights, like the Godfather got stitches from Corona bottles. Do these bars have bouncers? Like, is there security or like
No, not really. Not
no,
really.
it's
They just have on duty NCOs that show up just to make sure everything go. But if anything happened, that the PMO usually show up and stuff and everything.
Yeah. Wow. Where else did you go? Did you go to Korea or because I know that's a popular spot that Marines go?
Yeah, I went to Korea and shit and stuff and
Okay.
everything. So
Oh, so we do get Korea stories. I like it.
yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the cameras. I'm camera hog. All right. Sorry about that. So you're over in Korea now, and is it a similar experience as Japan, or is it like way different?
It's you know what I prefer Japan over Korea just because I kind of miss the alcohol vending machines that they have where I could skip and
Oh wow.
put my yen in and drink every block. There's an alcohol vending machine and shit. So
Okay.
it's easy. But the only thing that I remember about Korea is what we call Hooker's Hill and stuff. That's where
Hooker Hill in Korea.
yeah, that's where it was. I believe it was in Seoul and stuff and everything. We call this place Hooker's Hill because there was a things to do and a lot of service members go there and as Marines we're like a small unit. So because most of people that are stationed in Korea are usually Army soldiers. There's a lot of Army base and Air Force base, but there's only a Marine Corps base, and it's a small base down south because I guess part of the Geneva Convention agreement.
Yeah.
Marines can't be up north, have a base up there because of what we call the Korean War. It was called the Chosin Reservoir because during the time of the Chosin Reservoir,
yeah,
the Marines, my unit, it was then called 1st Battalion 7th Baker Company, but it's called Bravo Company. Stuff fought off 8 Chinese division in where the DMZ was. So 8 Chinese division, and we were just a battalion that was over there. So it was like five battalion probably would equal a division and stuff. So a division fought back 8 battalion. So for every Marine that they kill, the Marine would kill 8 Chinese for every Marine that they kill. So that's how bad the Marine was back during the days and stuff. So if your trigger finger was still working, you lost a limb and stuff, they would tie you to the Humvees and fight their way back, and they would still be shooting and tied to the military vehicle.
And this is why there's only one base.
Yeah, it was part because the Marines. There's a reason they also call us Tufelhunden, devil dogs. That's why we got the name because it was in Germany because during It was the Germans. They gave us that name because we were then hard to kill. The Marines.
Gotcha. Well, the Marines are I mean, pretty much the elite, right? I mean, I'm not a military guy. I always heard the Marines were like the toughest.
We're a 24-hour readiness. We're like a 24-hour readiness group. So, and we don't need a act of Congress to send the Marines. But every branch of service, they need actions on Congress to send them.
I gotcha. So you're bringing up what's called Hooker Hill.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's well known for prostitution.
Yeah, but it's not.
Or is that just a nickname that?
No. It's well known because I don't get along with hookers in Korea. That's why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because I almost get literally get into fights with them because I like to drink in peace, right?
Okay.
So I don't like girls putting beer bottles in their fucking cooch, then putting a straw, sucking up fucking beer in the cooch, and trying to make me drink it. I get upset because when I pay for a beer, I want to drink it. I'm not here to drink it for you. Drink your pussy.
Dude, they put the straw in their coochie
and expect me to drink it. Put the fucking
and then they like. I mean, as far as I know, a coochie can't really suck on a straw.
Exactly.
Can it? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. But that's the reason I'm not a big fan of it. But
yeah, that's like, I mean, I've guard with that one. I don't know how I'm gonna ask questions about that one. So that's the type of stuff you do. You know, well, some guys are into freaky stuff. Some guys are just kinky like that.
Yeah.
So some guy, I would say, I know I've had friends in the past that would be like all for that. That would like, hey, I heard they like put a straw up, the privates and you drink.
I don't know what.
Yeah, let's go there.
I don't know what the fuck they got. They might have chlamydia and shit and stuff and everything. Right?
Probably not. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you're, prostitution, no bueno. Now, I don't know. We're bringing up prostitution and a place called Hooker Hill, and I don't know. Is this something that like maybe some military guys would not like me to bring up or us to bring up? Because
no.
Because you don't want people who don't partake in any of that to be like think that they're being pulled in. And,
no, they're not being pulled in and shit.
You know,
I maybe had an incident with a hooker. I don't remember. I know I'm not gonna recall. I'm not saying maybe I had some type of relationship and shit, but that relationship was questionable.
You had a questionable relationship with a hooker?
No, because I tell you, because from that incident, I thought my dick was gonna fall off.
Oh, you caught some chlamydia?
No, I didn't know what it was, but
some hurt.
Yeah, but anyways, from that and stuff, because I remember we were sitting in a hangar for probably like 7 to 8 days, right? So it was during Sierra Leone when we were supposed to go fight in Sierra Leone in Africa, you know?
Yeah.
But instead of us fighting, it was during the Clinton administration. So the reason we sat in the hangar because Clinton decided to give our planes that's supposed to take us, back to the British, and it became a British mission. So they were fighting in Sierra Leone, which we were supposed to, but Clinton pulled us back and stuff and everything. But anyways, I was sitting in the hangar shit. Then I noticed my fucking penis was like purple and rash, right? Look like I have leprosy on my dick, right? I'm like, what the fuck is shit?
It's not supposed to look like this.
No, it's not supposed to look like. So it was surrounded all around my shaft shit. So I go to the corpsman, the dog. I think I can't remember the dog name. It was a fucking. So I asked the dog, "Hey, dog, there's something wrong with my dick, yo. I want you to look at it and shit." So I put down my pants. showing my dick and shit and stuff. And you know what this motherfucker say? Oh, you're probably just allergic to fucking pussy juice. It's like, for real? Dude, my shit's about to fucking fall off. Look, it's purple and shit. But he was probably right and shit. 3 days later, I was fucking cured and shit. Like, nothing happened and shit. He didn't give me nothing.
Well, I've never heard of anybody's penis being allergic to the
Yeah, exactly.
to the elements of
fucking Navy
of the woman's
oxygen
body.
and stuff, everything.
You like what I did there? I said elements
Yeah.
of the female body. I'm proud of myself. I've never heard of that. That's definitely something.
Yeah.
It's a venereal disease. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't have the. I came out negative and shit and stuff and everything. But it's just that. What the fuck was that shit? That was it had to be from something and shit. How the fuck you get allergic to fucking pussy juice?
Yeah, no, it's definitely it sounds like a viral. Hey, I'm sorry that could be a very scary experience. I'm glad to say in my whole life I've never had any questionable things happen to my jewels like that. Now, so Hooker Street, yeah, I think that's probably a good story to stay away from any kind of prostitution. But I know when you're single and you're lonely and hey, there are pretty girls over there. Hey, I know it could be tempting.
To me, they weren't so pretty as other place, but yeah, I don't think it exists no more. I think Korean got rid of a Hooker Hill and shit and stuff.
Okay,
but that's the last time I heard from service member that went to Korea. Yeah, they say that there is no more Hooker Hill. I guess Korean.
Just real quick, because I'm curious, which women do you think are prettier, Korean women or Japanese women?
Well, Japan, I tell you, they don't like to shave and they overreact when it's during.
You said they like to shave.
They don't like to shave.
Oh, okay. Okay.
With Korean, there's more petite, skinnier.
Okay.
Because with Japanese girls, they got more bold leg and stuff, so they're not like as slimmer as Korean.
Okay.
But Korean girls do shave, and Japanese don't really shave.
Okay. I apologize to any viewers who are kind of disgusted by this stuff, but hey, this is the direction the conversation went to. So, we don't blame you if you want to turn it off, but this is the direction we're going. Okay, so Korea, Hooker Hill. I mean, any stories about like getting drunk over there in another country and then having to do like some PT the next day? Because I would imagine there's a lot of drinking over there, and then you got to be up bright and early when the sun comes up to get to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was an incident where it happened. We wasn't informed with the appropriate time amount because I remember being in Seoul.
Yeah,
within an hour, and remember, I don't know, communication. Get there so quick. We didn't have cell phones. There was no cell phones and stuff back in the days.
Yeah,
bro. I mean, during in like the stuff because the fuck was that? But anyways,
I don't know.
But there wasn't no cell phones or whatever back in the days and stuff when I was in this shit, right? So message got across that we needed to be back in Pohang, and Pohang is down south where we were stationed down in South Korea. So the reason why, because usually they don't send us out or we'll be training because they have either anti-American week and shit where we can't be out because these Koreans are mad because they're celebrating anti-Americans. They don't want Americans on Korean lands, right?
No.
For the base. Or an incident happened because one of the Marines, because for this particular incident, not from my unit, or a Marine decided to beat the shit out of a taxi driver. So it created a big incident shit.
What the heck did the taxi driver do? He probably thought he was being cheated or something or overcharged.
Marines get stupid when they're drunk, but sometimes.
Did you ever have to like do any like hardcore, like long mileage running
Yeah,
after a
that's why.
night of drinking?
Yeah,
and you're
that's why. That's why I'm getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it was last minute. So we had to get in there. So it took. It's 4 hours away and shit, right? So we got the message at what 12:01. So we're trying to get there as early as we can and shit, right? So the next morning I didn't get the word and shit and stuff. So I packed heavy, right? So everybody was packing light, and I ate like probably one bag of sunflower seeds, just standing by to get a hump. So I'm still fucked up, right? Still fucking drunk, right? So we good because we got the last minute shit. So we started this hump, right? So we were going on a 15-mile hump, and it's really hot that day, right? So I want to say by the 10th mile, I was drinking water and shit, but I noticed myself swerving left, right, and all that. Then one of the corpsmen said, "Hey, are you right? It's just stuff. Hey, you need to fall back. Like all my waters are gone and shit. I'm trying to drink water because I drank like 7-8 bottles of water, right? I was like, fuck that shit. I could still go on and shit. Nah, you're fine." So I think I was fighting a corpsman, and it took like 3 corpsmen to tackle me down, right? Then they stuck the silver bullets, right, in my ass. So the silver bullets is a thermometer, right? That
Okay.
it goes in your ass, your rectal and shit to see. So I remember saying, shit, that's just 104.2 and shit. Your brain's about to be fried and shit. Like, what the fuck you talking about? I'm still laughing and shit. And like, dude, I can still go on, dude. I'm still thinking I'm invincible. I'm like, fuck this shit. I don't need no corpsman. So there,
Because you're still under the effects of alcohol, if you don't mind me
no,
interrupting.
I was a heat casualty. My temperature was 104.2. So when you get to past 105, your brain can be fried, bro.
Yeah, especially doing hardcore PT.
Yeah, and this was a hump. This wasn't like a PT. It was a ruck march with fucking more than 70 pounds of gear, bro. So yeah,
Oh, that's what they. Oh yeah,
they
you
call
guys
it a hump.
a hump.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
So
humping
my
all your
bad
gear.
to not explain earlier. In the Marine Corps, we call it a hump. In the Army, they call it a ruck march. But we say hump.
I got you.
You're not humping a dog or humping a woman. It's just the term we
Yeah,
use,
yeah,
a
yeah,
hump.
yeah, yeah. I've heard it before. I got you.
And it was 100. It was like fuck, man. So they sat me down, and there was no shade, dude. Everything was open. There's no trees and shit. So the shed. So I remember they left 2 corpsmen there. I think it was Doc Latino, and I want to say Doc U, but I don't remember. It might be Doc U and shit. So they're trying to give me fucking IVs, right? Fucking, they're missing my veins and shit, dude. They missed like 12 times because when you're dehydrated and shit, they can't find a vein, so they're stabbing shit, dude.
Yeah.
This motherfucker. By the time they give me, I have 2 IV bags going in myself, and all the Marines left and shit, waiting to be a Humvee to take me to a medical site, whatever. So by the time a Humvee show up and stuff, so I got back on there. And it took me to some medical site and shit. I remember they packed me with fucking ice, right? And every 45 minutes they stick a silver bullet in my ass, right? So I got so sick and tired. I think by the 5th silver bullets they put in my ass, I fought that motherfucker so far out and shit. I didn't know I could shoot objects out of my ass, bro.
You say you farted out the thermometer.
Yes.
Wow, how far that you got that thing?
I don't know.
Man?
The doctor that was on this, because it took me to this little shaft in the middle of nowhere. It was like an army medical center and shit. It was almost like MASH, bro. That they got this outfield and shit.
That's right.
So they got me on this this cot. It wasn't even a real bed. It was those cots. So it was made out of metal and shit. So you got the stuff. So they packed me. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna make any jokes about that, man, because it seems like you were actually about.
Yeah, I was about to die, bro.
You're man down right now.
Yeah.
So
like literally, I was about to die. They say if it was any like 2 degrees, my brain would have been fried.
Yeah.
I think I'm farsighted retarded because of that already and shit, you know?
I mean, you never know what kind of
Yeah.
effects of the brain that happen that is undiagnosed. But yeah, the thermometers, I know it's uncomfortable and you have to do it frequently, but very necessary when you're out there on the field, man, in the military. You got to make sure our soldiers are okay.
But I tell you, Navies, they love sticking everything in the ass. I mean, even one of the training is like a long time ago, I fell off a fucking cliff, right? And they thought I was paralyzed. What they do? Fucking Navy doctor. Stick their fucking fingers in my ass and shit.
No glove.
Like, what the fuck? No, they had a glove and shit.
I'm
Shit
playing.
came out of on the tip of the fucking glove and shit and stuff. Like, dude, that's why I say stay away from Navy fucking medical, bro. They like everything. They like sticking it in the ass.
They're like booty, 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 booty
Yes.
everywhere. Hey, so okay, so that's a good story about after a night of drinking.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta go pee. So I'll
going on
come
the
back,
hump.
fool. I'm about to piss in my pants.
Well, we were going to end it right there too because I have somewhere to go as far as the conversation. Okay, so I know there's all kinds of shenanigans at bars in these other countries when you guys are on liberty, but surely it can't be 100% bar. Is there ever any shenanigans or any like crazy stories that happen like just at the barracks when nothing's going on when you're on liberty at the barracks? Any noteworthy stories, anything that stick out?
I remember this. I don't know whether to call it an incident or whatever.
Situation.
Situation. Yeah, I remember at the DMZ and stuff. So it wasn't at the barracks. It was in this like MASH, the tent and stuff that we were living in stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we were at the DMZ near the thing stuff and everything. So sometimes we get bored and stuff. Marines will always find entertainment somehow and stuff and everything. So so White Chris, I'll call him White Chris and Alan. So White Chris and Alan, they were collecting money in a boonie cover. You know, the boonie cover is just like has like this, you know, with the brim around and it's off. So we call it boonie cover, right?
Yeah.
So everybody was putting $1 in and shit. So like, what the fuck we putting in $1? So I'm just doing just putting $1 in and shit.
Yeah, it's a money collection. Like
yeah.
Like,
so
yeah,
I was just going along. I want to feel like the clique. So fuck this shit. I'm putting my $1 in too.
everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask later shit and stuff. Then all of a sudden stuff. This collection was for a Marine now to fucking show his dick. Like what the fuck, right? So this Marine was my size, you know. We're like short Oompa Loompa shit, you know, sack. But why this fucking dude? He probably have a fucking rice curse like mine and shit. Why this fool showing his dick and shit, right? Like fuck, dude. I'm really giving $1 for somebody to show off their fucking dick. But anyways, so this logger, right? Now he works for like Chicago PD and shit and stuff. He's been with the Chicago PD for years and shit. But I don't want to give his real name. But everybody know him as Logger, right? So
Logger, apparently for a reason.
I guess fuck they call him Logger and shit.
Okay.
And his only directors just call him Logger and shit. But I knew him by other names that I used to call him, but we'll just call Logger because out of the majority they want me to call him Logger.
Okay, gotcha.
So Logger decided to fucking pull his pants out and that shit. Like fucking holy shit. His shit was like fucking this wide and shit, like about 2 feet long and shit. How the fuck that shit was possible? I don't know, dude. That fool was my height, and that shit looked like he have a fucking 3 legs, bro. That shit was a horse cock and shit. And he was also known as horse cock and shit. I never seen anything like that. See, he was from 3 River, Michigan and shit. So that fucking shit was And Michigan, they have those contaminated fucking water and shit and all that. So that's the only explanation this motherfucker might have. This fucking radioactive fucking dick, bro.
So radioactive. So you think it was a deformity?
Dude. Yeah. His dick was so big compared to my rice curse, like a thingy. That shit was like, yeah, no joke, bro.
Wow. So that was that was the story. Everybody's collecting money to see this guy's apparently. So apparently he had a price, right? He had a price to show it.
I don't know. I was just I was just putting it out. So we were so bored because we're sick and tired of fucking either going training on the DMZ because or digging fucking fighting holes in somebody's graves and shit that we don't know. Well, and then you got these fucking big ass loud speakers. We call it propaganda village, always playing at night. You know, come to the Northern Star and shit. These North Koreans would play. And we're sick of looking at North Koreans, and North Koreans are sick of looking at us. So we pretty much had to do.
So basically, this guy was a sideshow. He was like a sideshow Bob. Like, hey, everybody, put the money in the hat. We're gonna give it to this guy for him to show the spectacle.
I guess I didn't know what it was. I mean, I don't know whether that's gay or whatever. If pay some guy to see a dick and shit, I would just go with the flow.
Yeah. Show the guy's elephant trunk. Okay, all right. Well,
but I think you'll be amazed if you were to see that too.
I think I could have gone without hearing that story, but
yeah,
it's all good.
I think so. But that was just for shit and giggles and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Just to throw something at the audience and like.
That's like kind of some of the shenanigans.
Yeah,
because I would think a bunch of guys, Marines, any kind of military on off time, you got to have shenanigans.
I tell you,
get past the time, right?
What the public, what the civilians see Marines, it's totally different. What we do and shit, we have a fucking push button, so it's like we're Uncle Sam's misguided children. We're the most fucked up fucking military shit. Do stupid shit and stuff. But when it comes to public display, we're dog and pony show. So the civilians don't know what really Marines do.
Well, I know
behind the back door.
I know whenever I see like the Marines commercial, like you see the guy in with the sword, the white gloves on,
right?
The hat, the pristine uniform. I mean, it's
the dress blue. Yes,
you just look like a super soldier. You know?
Yeah, not soldiers, super Marines. Soldiers is a term that use. Yeah, that's we Marines because they consider that disrespectful. So the proper term for service member is, if you're a Marine, you're a Marine. You're Army, you're soldiers. You're Air Force, you're airmen. You're Navy, you're sailor. So never call a Marine a soldier. That's Army.
Okay.
Army is soldier. Marine is Marine.
Okay.
Yes. Navy is sailor. Air Force is airman.
Okay. Now, well, thanks for the education right there. So would most Marines call me out on it if I accidentally called them a soldier?
Yes. That is a totally.
So you say that like, no, not most. Every Marine will probably
Marine, because Marines is not a soldier. Marine is a Marine.
Marine is Marine.
Army is a soldier.
I gotcha.
And the same, like if you call airmen a soldier, they would be pissed. And if you call a squid, what Marines we call a squid, a sailor.
A sailor is a squid.
Yeah.
Water. Yeah.
A soldier, they would be pissed.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I of course, I respect all military men. I was never in the military. So if I know what not to say, I'm definitely not going to say it. So I will.
But
never
I don't
call
know
a
what the
Marine a
new
soldier.
Space Force, what they call them. They call them fucking
aliens.
They're not even a true branch of service and shit. Fuck, I don't know.
Well, you never know. They might be one day respected. You never know. I mean, what if we're invaded
by aliens and shit
from? Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Thanks for touching on that. So Lager, hey, respect to Lager.
Yeah.
I hope you spent that money wise.
Oh, hopefully,
Now,
shit.
okay. So we're talking about shenanigans. Obviously, the Marines, most military, it's not all about shenanigans. We're just touching on some stories that just might be entertaining. I'm sure it's maybe 10% shenanigans. I'm sure it's 90% down to business with PT and doing military exercises. But what about like anything that can really mess with someone in the military mentally, emotionally, when it comes to like relationships and stuff like, because I always hear that there is drama with relationships where someone's deployed and then there's ladies cheating on them or break up with them, and then that puts that man where he's at in life deployed, so in the military. What's that do to his head
I don't
when
know,
his
because
lady back home he's looking forward to get to breaks up with him or whatever? So do you have anything near that, or have you heard of
I
anybody
tell you, 75% of marriage in the military. When you're young, I'm talking about young, but when you're
young and inexperienced?
yeah,
Yes.
young is 75% divorce rate is high.
Okay.
Okay, because you gotta think. Okay, when you're at an older generation, shit, you mature and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're not as goofy as a young you. But in
By
the
all
Marine
means.
Corps, there's a lot of goofiness that happens around because you're in the young. But you know, but it's a different story. But 75% of divorce. So
Makes sense.
because I think I was married when I was, I want to say 20 or yeah. Well, that's when I first got married, when I was 20 in the Marine Corps.
That is a very young age
That is.
to be married.
And the funny thing is about that, because when I started going, how I met my ex-wife, she's my ex-wife now and stuff and everything. See what I say is important. So when I met my ex-wife, I was going back to Stockton instead of hanging with my my Marine Corps buddy and stuff and everything. And I got with them. They were going to this college in Stockton called Humphrey College. So they had a dorm and stuff. So I was going there, and they would take me out to San Jose and stuff and
Yeah.
everything, where I met her and shit and stuff. Me, to be honest, I never really had a real relationship. Like, I could be girl that they felt something for me, or you know. But she had big titties in, and she let me suck on it and stuff. The first, yeah, I kind of fell in love and shit. Like, wanted to.
Well, when a young man gets a hold of the opposite sex and you're not used to it, I mean, we tend to, as the kids say, get sprung very easily.
Yes.
Because holy wow, I'm not used to this, and all of a sudden I'm getting it, and
Yeah.
I'm touching them. I'm putting my private parts in spots on a woman that you only dream of when you're a youngster.
But you know what? It was the attention she was more giving. It's not like the first time I lost my virginity, or the many times that I probably slept with girls from overseas and shit and stuff. It was more of a loneliness. Like, I mean, in the military, I like, fuck. You know what? I thought I probably would want to settle down, because I never had a girlfriend in my life. So she was really the first girlfriend I had. I mean, I had a girlfriend like in middle school and stuff, but we never kissed. We kissed, but we never had sex, or we never.
So she was your first like
thing.
relationship.
Yeah, first relationship compared when I was young.
Compared to the two girls at camp.
Yeah, because when I lost my virginity, like I said, it was a threesome. But because I had girlfriends, but we never had sex and stuff, so I didn't really know what a relationship is, because never had sex.
You
never
mean
had
a full-fledged relationship with all the perks of a relationship?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyways, I met her for like probably a week, and I was like, it'd probably be a good idea to get out of thing, because she was having family issues too and stuff. So I was trying to play the role of Captain Save-A-Hole and shit. You know, she was having family issues and stuff and everything. And you know, she was you know, she claimed to be half Cambodian and half Hispanic. Her dad was a paisa and shit. He was a hard working man and shit. And her mom was a lovely, you know, lovely person too and stuff and everything, you know. And none of our parents, anyways, I met them later, but none of our parents knew that we were married because
Yeah.
so one day my dumb ass, you know, being me, decided to take her to Vegas. Let's get married and shit. After knowing her for probably 1 week.
And she was down for it.
Yes, because she wanted to escape some life that she had issue with,
She wanted to escape what's
and I
going on.
wanted to, you know,
She was looking for the support of starting new of whatever she was going on in her life.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so we went to Vegas and shit and stuff. So I was with by the two buddies. We call him Hung. The other one was High Top. Is the name with his High Top because that fool was a big ass Cambodian dude. He was 6'4"
Wow.
and fat, big. So we call him High Top. He was a big Cambodian guy.
Was he mixed? Because
No.
really,
Yeah.
I did not know. I thought Cambodians were usually
No, there was a lot of
smaller
Cambodian
stature.
No,
Yeah.
the real Cambodians, like back in the days, they were above 6 feet during the Angkorian times, we call it and stuff.
Okay.
They were tall. That's the original. That's when you know you're 100% Cambodian if you're like really super tall. But if you're mixed with Chinese or whatever and stuff, you're short.
Okay.
farm worker and
Gotcha.
shit. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so went to Vegas and shit. I think I did a drive-through for the marriage and shit. You know, I went to Clark County, got the marriage certificate sign off, went to get a chaplain sign off, and return that shit.
A drive-through marriage.
Yeah, just rolling through drive-through. You know.
I heard about those. Yeah, Vegas does have those.
Yeah.
Why do I have a feeling they're right next? They're in between a McDonald's and a Taco Bell.
Yeah, some shit like
I
that.
don't know. I'm just making jokes right now.
But anyways, a week later, we told both our parents, "Hey," I told my mom, "Hey, mom and dad,
Yeah,
I just got married. Like, I brought my ex-wife. Like, what the fuck? You know, go and she brought me to her parents in San Jose and shit. But at that time, you know, her family liked me because I showed some respect. I stood up, shook their hand and shit. She introduced me, say, "This is my new husband." They didn't even know that she was married too. You know, when you're young, you're still kid, you do fucking far-sighted retarded shit.
yeah. So you both were young. You were young.
Yeah.
You thought, hey, that my life's starting right now. How long did it last?
Oh, yeah. But during that time it was hard because I thought it was gonna be easy, but I faced a lot of hardship
Yeah.
from it but luckily it was my third year in the Marine Corps. So we call it I was fapped out, made it a little bit easy. So what they mean by fapped out is called Fleet Assistant Program. So they took me out of the line company as an infantryman to work with civilians. So I was probably 2 or 3 out of the Marines working civilians, but I was the only Marines working as what they call NREA, Natural Resource Environment Affair in 29 Palms. So I was dealing with the hazmat. Another Marine had to investigate dead tortoise and the other one and stuff. So it gave me easy, but being married, so it gave me time to work a second job because now I need money to take care of my significant other at that time. So I was working 2 jobs. So at night, I was doing so after my daytime work, I work as a janitor on base and stuff, doing the thing because so it was hardship and still wasn't enough, right? I have a car payment and I have everything. So
Definitely hard for a young man.
yeah, so on the weekends in the Marines, I would go on my old Marine Corps buddies and go ask for whatever spare change they have to buy diapers because I didn't tell her she had a kid earlier. So she had a kid at probably 16, right? So I was taking care of a 2-year-old too.
Okay, so she had a child
So I married
already.
a package. Yeah, she already
Okay.
have a child and shit. But I took care of her as my best ability. So
Yeah, let me
and-
interrupt you. There's always respect to a man who marries a woman with kids already. Always respect to that.
yeah.
You know.
Remember, I was young, so I was trying to play the role as responsibility.
Yeah.
I didn't drink. I didn't kick out during that time. I was sober and stuff and everything, because I wanted to do the respect out of responsibility.
Exactly. You're a married man now.
But things didn't go well because, like I say, she was always with issues and problems and stuff and everything, right? So it was getting long. She was destroying my Marine Corps career in a way, creating credit card debts and stuff and everything. So, it was hard. I was living in the base housing and shit and stuff, getting a thing, but it was a lot of hardship for me. I thought
How
it would
old
be-
how old are you now at this point when you're married to this woman?
I'm at that time I was 19 years old.
Yeah, you're 19. So you got to
19,
think
20,
you already
20.
you already have a lot of
I think
responsibility.
it was 20 years old.
You have a responsibility being in the Marines, and then you meet this woman, and then when you marry a woman, who has a child already, that is so much more responsibility, and I want to say pressure. It's pressure because
Yeah.
now you have a lot more on your plate as a
Yes.
man who's just starting out. I mean, you're still a kid basically,
Yeah.
but you're doing
I'm still a baby.
adult stuff. Yeah, so that's hard. Trust me, I get it. I get it. It's
Yeah.
like that's a lot of responsibility. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, but surely, I guess things don't really work out. And plus, and then 9/11 happened because I remember that day very well, but I'm not going to go in detail about it. So I remember it was about 7:30, 7:40. Right? I got to be at work at 8. So I'm just driving, right? Driving my,
Yeah.
2000 Honda Civic and shit.
This is on 9/11 you're talking about, or
Yeah,
or
yeah.
around then.
It was 9 on 9/11, right?
Okay.
So from base house, I'm driving. So it's about because 29 Palm base is big. It's really big. So I'm driving all the way to my workplace, right? Why does this fucking mic keep on hitting me? Back off, fool. But anyways,
Just push it down a little bit. There
Yeah.
you go.
but anyways, I'm driving on, listening to the radio, fucking hear about the fucking Twin Tower, fucking excuse me, hear about the Twin Tower going down. Like, what the fuck am I hearing and shit? I get back and shit and stuff with the NRA. I'm not gonna because a lot of them shit what I hear.
Yeah.
Is classified what I hear because we still have the radio. So I'm not gonna talk about what went on.
By all means.
What we listen to shit. And
By all
stuff.
means, yes.
But anyways and shit, it's like what the fuck? Like this shit just happened and shit. Then these guys fucking with me like, hey man, you might go through some heavy shit. You're infantry and shit. But anyways. But fuck it, 2 or 3 days later, 2 or 3 months later, I'll go back to my units, right? So we're getting ready to fucking deploy. And so I'm not gonna talk anything about this deployment and shit and stuff.
Okay.
So everything was going on. But when I get back to the unit shit, I was under the different command. It was a lot, it was toxic. So I'm already stressing out with my relationship with this, then in a toxic command, right? So
So you have new superiors now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
talking- and you're
It was
calling
a
them
chain of
toxic.
command and
You're
shit.
saying they're toxic.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you know the blacks were told not to hang out with each other and shit and stuff and everything, right? So there's a lot of fucking racial incidents and stuff. You know, my buddy spoke on it and shit and stuff. Lucky somebody came to him, what we call like reported to made a report to OIG or whatever, but we call it request mass and shit when they agree because they didn't want to give him the rank because he was black, you know.
Okay.
So so you know, but me, I was pinned out too. You know, there was a staff sergeant told me to go kill myself, and there was a lieutenant that told me that I would never mount anything, but I didn't have nobody to advocate for me when this fucking racial, this toxicness was going on and shit and stuff. So all that shit, put in mind, all that shit was going on to me. And this new fucking leadership and shit. Before the first 2 years of my Marine Corps, I was taken care of because this father-like figure. His name, you know what I'm gonna say his name. His name was Staff Sergeant Fay, right? He really took care of me. He told me, son, whatever I need and stuff, you remember, and everything and stuff and everything, right? At that time, I kind of look at him like a father figure, right? Then all of a sudden, you know, because every 2 years you go to this leadership change and shit and stuff, and like, dude, I never seen racism like in my eyes before. It was a thing. So now I'm about ready to deploy, going back home, trying to patch shit up with my wife. Now my ex-wife and shit and stuff. Still, so we went to Disneyland and it wasn't working and shit and stuff, everything and all that, you know. So before the deployment, it's like fuck, dude. That was the worst time of my life ever.
Yeah,
Right?
I can imagine, man. Being deployed, relationship uh, turmoil
Yeah.
is what that is. Relationship turmoil. Trust me, I've been through relationship turmoil just
Yeah.
being a civilian, and
Fuck, hold that
and
thought. I
it's
gotta go fucking pee. I'm about to piss in my pants.
okay. So we're at relationship turmoil, buddy. Yeah, man. So like I was saying, relationship in turmoil. I mean, it sucks even when you're a civilian, and to have all that going on when you're deployed, you're a young man. Yeah, man. It's
I
a
wasn't.
lot to swallow, man.
Yeah, but I wasn't yet the fucking employee. I was about to try to pass shit out. But anyways,
Okay.
so I took my wife, before my deployment. Fucking she took me as a family thing and stuff and everything. But still, I was like Kristen App, but in the back of my head, I already knew that she was cheating on me. She had something and shit, which is actually true, right? I ain't gonna say shit because
Yeah.
right. Well, anyways, I was going there, but for some odd feeling and shit, I'm like things wasn't really working out. I really thought it was the end. Young 20-year-old me, right? Thinking it's like fuck this shit. It's like pretty much the end of the world, right? So I remember near I think it was California Adventure, right? I had 550 cords in my car, you know, the strings and shit, right? So saw this tree, right? So climb up this tree, right? Tied one into it, one into my neck, right? And
This
you
was
know
that
what?
California adventure.
Yeah. So because I didn't want anything to happen in the hotel or whatever, commit suicide and shit. When I die, I don't want people to, fuck up the place of the thing and shit. So anyways, I'm about ready to fucking jump off this tree, right? Ready to go like fuck this shit, right? Like anyways, by the time I fucking right held my arm like a monkey and shit, fucking erected my body and shit. was about ready to jump. So I had my fucking arm under the tree, my fucking feet planted on the fucking branch, right? Erecting myself, about to fucking jump, right? Like, fuck this shit. Fuck all you motherfucker, right? That motherfucker took it to that motherfucking branch broke, dude. Fucking fell on my ass. But before I fell on my ass, dude, like fucking dude, I saw a fucking flash of light. Like I saw like 20 years into the future. Without me, what would happen? Without shit, meaning interesting people, whatever and shit, right? Even though it was short second of fucking flash, right? I, it was like 20 years in the future. I seen. It's hard to explain. With that short second of flash and shit. I fell on my ass and shit. Like, what the fuck, dude? This probably wasn't meant to be. And after that, I don't think I ever fucking tried to attempted to commit suicide and shit. Because you know what? Just the think of hanging and shit, that shit rope being around your neck, breaking your neck, that should probably be more painful because I experienced fucking death before, not death, but it was like, I think it would be more painful because the most peaceful death that I would probably say is probably drowning.
Well, man, I got to say that it definitely was not meant for that to be a successful event in your life. It was definitely meant.
Mm.
You were a young man. You had a lot on your plate. You didn't know how to process it. And that's the deal with like a lot of young men who give up. I don't think they know how to process everything that's going on. Here you are now. You're older. You're wiser. You've been through some shit. You know how to process it.
But let me tell you about drowning. People ask,
you have experience with almost drowning?
yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, because I remember when I was 8 years old and Lake Lodi and shit. I chose the wrong fucking death method at that time. If I would have just fucking jumped and not do anything and stuff, because I remember I was 8 years old in Lake Lodi, right? So I was on this log and shit. So I was out there with my siblings and shit, the first time, my sister, she finally have a driver license shit, decided to take us and shit. We were picking, help her pick up berries and shit, the blueberries and shit. I think she liked it shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
So we were on this river, Lake Lodi, like whatever.
Yeah.
On the log and shit. I remember all of a sudden the log turned to shit, right? So I remember was sinking in the water and shit. And all of a sudden I couldn't feel anything. And all I see was my hands going up and I'm looking at the water and I see the log go down. I'm like paralyzed, but I see everything's going on with me and shit and stuff. Couldn't feel pain, couldn't feel anything, right? Then all of a sudden, I got saved by a well.
Yeah, a well at Lodi Lake.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think any wells can make it to Lodi
No,
Lake.
there was a big well. She was a big fat white lady. She was a well that saved me.
It sounds like an angel. Why are you calling her a well?
At my 8-year-old me, that was a fucking well to me. Okay, that came and saved me.
You got saved by a great white.
So, anyways, she took me to shore.
Jack.
That's when I felt pain and shit. That was coffee shit, water coming out of my mouth and shit. Then everything came to. And for some reason, I don't remember how. She got me there when I got to a shore. Then everything the thing. But drowning would have been a greater peaceful way of me doing shit, which instead of trying to hang myself and everything compared to that.
Well, man, I think everybody in your life is going to say, yeah, it was meant to be. It was meant to be for that branch to break, because if it didn't, you wouldn't be sitting here. Trust me, there's a lot of tragedy in our lives already with people going through stuff. So, just so you know, I'm appreciative that branch broke, and I appreciate you speaking on this, because there may be some young men who may be going through what you were going through, who might not have a weak branch like what you had. looking back on a failed attempt? Like, do you think, man, what was I doing? I wish I didn't do that. You know, what are your thoughts right now? I mean,
What I thought is like
because surely you have to be
people
happy.
those try to commit suicide. All I say is not the end of the world because you're cheating off those people that you may meet 20 years later down the line and stuff. You never have the opportunity because there's always a cure to everybody. It maybe take 10 years to 20 years. You never know. But you're cheating off those people that may meet you in the future that can give you a great life.
Very well said. Very well said, my man. That's exactly true. Exactly true. Because here it is 20 years later, man. And here we are. We're friends.
Yep.
We made each other. We never would have met.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
If that day I would have been died and it was a successful suicide, I would never meet you right now. And honestly, God, that's why I said that flash of light. It made me see not the past, but the future.
Yeah.
And it was a short second, but that short second seemed like it was 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that a lot of time's gone by, you're older, wiser. You definitely see why that was definitely not the appropriate route to take, as we just spoke on. Like I said, I don't want to talk about it too much,
I
but
mean, you got to give a suicide hotline and shit and stuff.
by all means,
shit, just post somewhere shit.
We'll put a veterans crisis line on for sure.
Hey, just leave in the comment and shit. What's your take on suicide and shit? Give this guy some comments and shit, and fucking feedback and fucking everything.
No, man, when we do this, it's not really about comments and feedback, man. We just make the video, we just put it up. Whatever happens. That's how I look at it. But if we get some military guys, or even if you're not in the military and you're going through some stuff, I'm gonna put obviously a veteran crisis hotline up, and even another number for when you're not in the military. Just, I mean, sometimes we go through things in life where we just don't know how.
I heard
to
of
process.
a number. It was like instead of 911, it's 119 opposite.
119. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, but you need to Google that shit up.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Check it out.
You just fucking post it down later and shit.
Okay, so was that attempt? You said it was at
It was in Anaheim. It was at California Adventure, but near outside and shit and stuff. I was inside and shit. Like fuck you, world. I'm gonna take my fucking life. And you know what? That's funny as shit because my unit already had the highest fucking suicide rate and shit that any military force combined and shit and stuff. And during that time, I don't feel like they really give a fuck about suicide because we had this one cat, right, in Charlie Company, but in our battalion, right. So, anyways, 1st Battalion, 7th Marine, Charlie Company, right. And they're the only unit that's authorized to guide on the shit. One that says China, and the other one is the skull flag. There's a reason for that, but anyways, I'm not about the reason because there's a whole lot of history in our mission. But anyways, one day this cat got a fucking, I guess, a DUI, right? He thought it was the end of the world because in the military you get double fuck, right? You get double fucked in the civilian side, then you get double fucked in the military side. So your ass, you get in trouble, right? He thought it was the end of the world. So this motherfucker decided to go to the construction site and shit, fucking hang himself, right? And he died. So next day we had a fucking battalion brief. So you have all the unit, like 1,000 Marines there, right? That's into the lieutenant colonel giving shit. It was frowned upon. So I remember this guy, a lieutenant colonel, right? Give the brief, the battalion commander shit. His name was Lieutenant Colonel Simcock, right? So this motherfucker looked like, you seen what's that? What's that fucking video game they have Rogue, the 4-arm guy and shit. Mortal Kombat, right?
Oh yeah.
So he got how high and tight. This fool was like 6'6", right? His face looked like fucking the guy from Rogue, like Mortal Kombat, fucking cut, right? So this guy was a 50-year-old dude, solid dude, right? He would call us up and shit like, hey, we you used to have the suicide brief after somebody commits suicide, right?
Right.
And he would call us say, hey, if you go kill yourself, you go yourself. Don't be that fucking bitch. Come talk to me first before you fucking be that bitch shit. That's how our suicide shit was watched. Suicide shit was, man.
Yeah.
So it was deemed like we were bitches and shit if we stuff. So
Well, I mean, a lot of people think suicide is an easy way out for a situation that can be corrected. Obviously, when you're at that point, I would think that that's like at the very lowest that you can be in life. And there's only one way that you can go, and that's up. You can only get better from there. You just need to talk to the right people, have the right people say the right things to you to convince you that, hey, that's this is not right. You have there's so much more for somebody in life than for them to end themselves. That's not the legacy you want to leave behind. Now, so obviously this is you're back from you're back to the USA from your last deployment.
no. This is just me the beginning before I went deployment.
Okay.
But anyways, starting deployment, right? Then you just start heating up. I don't fucking remember what I was doing, but I was so fucking shit. I felt like shit. I didn't want to do nothing, so I got a dear JT letter saying, "Dear JT, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. Here's my max out credit card." She didn't have the fucking balls to fucking or the fucking pussy to say, "Get the fuck out." Wait until I was deployed, going through so much dilemma.
Yeah.
Send me the message and my max out credit card. But anyways, I came back from the deployment, right? Well, Saturday morning, right? So that's when I started drinking heavier. Not like experience and shit, just drank to forget everything, right? To suppress the pain, to suppress the memory, right? So, but I didn't want to be an alcoholic. So I got myself a drinking buddy. People may call it a blow up doll or whatever shit, but she was a blow up doll. But at that time, she was a real person to me. Her name was Susie. So she was dressed up, right? So I would drink in front of my room. She was dressed up in my cami, so I put my we call it camis, the utility, camouflage utility shit. My military clothing on her and shit.
Okay.
So I needed somebody to talk to and shit at that time. So I was drinking heavily and shit and stuff, and always talking to her every day because I'm about to go out and shit and stuff. And Susie is a good listener and shit, even though her mouth was like open like that shit. But I knew I understand her shit. So she got me through my last year of the Marine Corps before I went on terminal leave. In the fuck out.
So Susie was a blow up doll who was your drinking buddy. You were going through such a hard time that she was a good listener, and you'd speak to her. So kind of like an imaginary friend, but not imaginary, but kind of in the physical world.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you truly feel that Susie helped you out?
I think so.
Yeah.
She was a good listening buddy. Yeah.
How did your fellow how'd your fellow Marines treat you? Did they treat you any funny or differently?
No,
or
they just let me alone.
They never. So they knew you were probably going through some stuff that you needed your drinking buddy.
Yeah. I mean, there's nights and shit that I would pass out. Like fucking, I remember Chris would pick me up and put me back in the in the bed and shit, because in the desert I be drinking, sometimes I wander off from my blow up doll and shit, from Susie and shit, walking and shit. I would pass out in the fucking middle of the desert. Not in the middle, but near the barracks of the desert and shit. It was steaming hot. They would pick me up and put me back in my bed
Can I
and
ask
tuck
you?
me in.
Can I ask you how Susie got her name?
Her name was Susie.
So she came as Susie.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what she wanted to be called. It's fucking Susie.
Okay.
She was a person at the time, so her name was Susie.
I don't want to be inappropriate about this because I know Susie was very important in your life.
Yeah.
Did you have a relationship with Susie other than
No,
like a
no.
speaking relationship?
No, she was just a person that I talked to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm thankful for Susie for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that you had somebody to help you get through it, right? And you know what? We all need to cope. We all need something to get us through. So I'm glad you found something. I mean, a lot of people made jokes about Susie.
Okay. You man, I come back from deployment.
Yeah.
My car is gone, repo, everything is gone. My wife, nowhere to be fucking found. My ex-wife. So, who are you gonna go turn to? It's fucking Susie.
Susie. Well, you know, man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been self omission right now. I've been in hard times in my life when I was going through my divorce. Maybe I needed a Susie, somebody to listen to, because I know I had a time in my life to where I felt I didn't really have anybody to talk to, and I never really reached out to anybody. So now, yeah, no, you're not gonna get any jokes about Susie from me. I think I kind of understand. Sometimes you know, when I'm going through hardships, I'll talk to myself. You know, look at the wall.
Fuck.
What's
It
Susie
happens.
doing now, man? What's Susie doing now?
I don't know. I don't remember. That's been like fucking 24 years ago.
Okay.
It's been a long time. I don't give a fuck no more. But anyways, carry on.
Yeah. Well, thanks for speaking on that, man. I mean, I hope you're not bombarded by this right now. I know we didn't really talk about bringing it up. I hope you don't mind. I mean, no disrespect, but would you mind speaking on? I remember years ago at DVI, I remember there's like a very highly talked about story about you were at a bar with a buddy and something about a gun incident. Maybe you pulled a gun on somebody. Do you mind speaking on that? If you don't mind bringing that, I'll cut this out of the podcast. If you don't, if you we won't even bring it up. It'll be nothing. It'll never even brought up. But if you want to speak on it,
Since you brought it up, and it's been like, I want to say 17 years ago.
quite some time ago.
It's fucking old news and shit.
It's old news.
It's probably older than your kids and shit that was born and shit, but most people and shit. But
it's old
fuck it.
news, but it's a big story.
It was. I was on front page newspaper. So, but anyways, you're talking about what they call the 856 incident. It was
856, yes. Lincoln Center bar, right?
Lincoln Center. But anyways, so here's how the story went. I guess my buddy was trying to get to the bathroom and shit. Stan and I. And two guys were arguing, right? So he got out of them. Hey, can you take that somewhere else? Because the line to the bathroom is narrow, right? He's just trying to fucking pee.
Gotcha.
Right? So these two guys that were arguing got on him. The bouncer saw that. So they threw them out, right? Of the bar and shit and stuff. So no big deal, right? So anyways, towards the end of the bar, everybody was leaving and shit and stuff and everything. So I'm trying to gather everybody or whatever. I don't remember who was there and stuff. So when it went out, I think it was bleeding from the fucking left eye and shit. Like, hey, what the fuck had happened to you, bro? But anyways, he's like bleeding and shit. Like, what the fuck? Right? So he's pointing to this guy. I'm looking back. All of a sudden, this guy had a gun. So my regular reaction was like gun, because I'm in the like the military MP and stuff and everything when we see gun and stuff and everything. So in the back of my mind, my reaction was gun. You know that that stuff. So my partner that was down, he came to, ran after him like fuck. So knowing my ass, whatever department I'm working with, I wasn't fully qualified with my gun and shit. Like fuck, I'm damn if I do. So I'm like hesitant. I'm trying to say, hey bro, hold on, but he's all fucking in. So he got his combat glide going shit. And these motherfuckers were running like this shit with their fucking G style gangster shit and stuff. Like fuck. So what a good friend would do, I don't give a fuck about my consequence or anything. I went, got my combat glide going, you know. I then pull out my badge and shit, fucking raise it out high and shit. Had my fucking pull out my gun, had it on a ready position downward and shit, because I didn't want to scare the guy that had a gun and try to, because it would go bad if I put too much intimidation. I don't know if he would shoot or whatever and shit. And everybody was covering their ears, getting down and all that. I'm trying to calm everybody out while with my comic glide going and shit. So by the time I got to the corner and shit, I was debating, and this guy still have his gun out and shit. Like whether to shoot or not. There was a red car that passed by and shit. Like fuck, dude. But by the time we got to the corner of this fucking bank, what's called White Choby or whatever shit, I can't remember shit. Started a W and shit, anyways. But all I remember is like, stop. I'm a cop too. He threw his gun and his badge on the side, right? So, fuck. So I kind of gave him the corner, fucking kind of holster and shit, like fucking maneuver. Hey, man, that'd be cool. Get down and shit. My buddy was still heated up and shit. Got them down on a prone. They prone out and shit. Their here comes these here comes fucking CHP, right? I guess somebody called whatever shit, right? CHPK got out. This motherfucker was nerving and shit, shaking his knees and shit. Got behind the door, right? So I told my boy, hey bro, this guy's kind of nervous, bro. He's about to shoot. You got a chipper right behind you, bro. He's kind of nervous, bro. I don't trust nervous people for shit, bro. Any movement, they will shoot, right? So he just got down too and stuff and everything. And you know, that was kind of the end of it. Every weapon was taken care of and shit. And all that. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys more and shit, but
Was anybody arrested that night or no?
no.
Okay. Anybody? So the other guy who he had a weapon as well, right? What?
And let me tell you this:
Okay.
I am the only person that got in trouble because
did the other guy? Did he work for?
So my buddy,
another agency.
My buddy works for.
I mean, don't speak on nobody who might not want to be
retired, but he's Stockton PD and shit. He's retired now and shit. So he worked for Stockton PD that got pistol whip and shit and stuff and everything. We'll call him Pablo and shit. So anyway,
are you okay speaking on that?
Yeah,
I don't want you to bring up nobody who might not want to be spoke on right now.
Then the other two are like sheriffs or whatever and stuff. But the other fool was an idiot. I wouldn't say him shit because after our incident, this motherfucker shot into a school and shit and stuff. Still haven't learned his lesson. I guess some parolee stole his vehicle and shit. He ran after the fool and shit and stuff. They had to close down the school and shit because this motherfucker shooting school. You know, this fool's a fucking idiot and still keep his job and shit. I ain't gonna mention his name, even though I know his name and shit. But that's not my business shit. But that fool was a fucking idiot shit. But anyway.
Yeah.
But every department They threw it, but nobody really got in trouble but me. I'm the only guy in trouble and shit because I belong to a fucking State Department where they will fucking screw you in the ass if they can and shit.
They hold us to a higher standard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But everybody's got taken care of, and I didn't want to be involved. I don't want to be there. I was there because it was my boy.
Okay, man. Thank you for speaking on this because it is what it is. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got shot. You didn't get fired. Nobody got fired.
Yeah, but your boy Stewie that was on the shit. He was the first one to know and shit because the one that fucking got out and shit. That was his neighbor, a CHP officer, only 4 months in the field and shit and stuff. He went to him and asked him, "Hey, do you know a crazy gook named JT and shit and stuff?" And this motherfucker said, yeah, shit. So for some reason, the thought was crazy in the beginning. Like, what the fuck, dude? Somebody threw a gun. They just fuck with the wrong person because I had that. Not suicide or all, but I'd rather die from heroism and shit than anybody get fucking shot, bro.
Must have been a very crazy ordeal to be through, man. I think. Thanks for speaking on that. I'm not gonna harp on it. I'm not gonna take you back. Like I said, I wasn't gonna have you speak on it. I would have cut it out. But thank you for speaking on it. I know a lot of people know about that. A lot of people that we work with. So thank you for that. So what happened shortly after that? Did anything happen after that? As
No.
far as hey, you need to quit going to bars.
No,
work didn't say you need to quit going out. If stuff like this is happening.
But I kind of realized of all the incidents that happened and shit with my drinking because of my PTSD and stuff. You know what? Might show my PTSD so they make sure they realize the shit. Post that shit on. Yeah.
Oh, if you want me to put that on screen, I will.
Yeah, post that PTSD so they understand what I'm going through and shit. And sometimes you need that help with the PTSD. Anyways, so I know.
Well, just so you know that is your medical information. Your
it
PTSD.
Doesn't matter shit because PTSD.
Okay.
Anyways, but this shit. If you understand my PTSD, understand what I went through and shit, it goes out a lot of clearer and shit. But I didn't start seeking help until I remember Donahoe and my Sergeant Major Rochester. He was the first sergeant at the time and shit. He wasn't Sergeant Major and shit. Rochester, and he was at my work. I'm not gonna say no names. His name was Donahoe and shit. They spoke and shit like, "Hey man, I probably need help. I do need help and shit and stuff. Like fuck it." So I went to rehab, right? And this place called at the VA, Menlo Park VA, called the Foundation Recovery. So I was there for a month and a half and shit, getting things and stuff because I was probably pretty much fucked up and shit, man. Alcoholic and shit, and everything, right? But I was here for a month and a half and shit, got it treated and shit, and I was grateful, I call her Mama Llama, and then a beta.
Mama Llamas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Carrie.
Yeah. So they went to see me. Nobody have ever seen me and shit, and they went to see me how it was in Menlo Park. So they went all the way to Menlo Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the rehab.
To see me and shit.
Now, okay, so I want to give them their flowers for showing up for you. So Llamas and a beta.
Yeah.
Who we worked with. Okay.
Yeah. So they were like mother figures to me, bro. They wanted to see me together, and it helped with the rehab. I didn't drink for 5 years and shit, but shit happened. I started drinking, but I stay off the liquor and shit. I only drink really beer and shit, alcohol and shit, because the docs say stay off the liquor, but he never say stay off the beer. Because before I was drinking Patron, nothing but Patron. I didn't drink beer, but well, it kind of helped me out for a bit and stuff and everything.
You still You find you're more controlled under beer,
Yeah.
rather. Well,
Yeah, I'm
hard
more
alcohol.
controlled now and shit, because before I used to be all over the map and stuff, everything. Now I'm more contained. I'm more at the house. I really don't, but I come out here, but we don't live far from each other, so I drive back and shit. But
Hey Jack, let me ask you this real quick. This is some very serious stuff when you talk about rehab, suicide, whatnot. How does it make you feel to speak on it right now on a forum like this?
Really?
If you don't mind me asking, I mean, because this is, I don't know. I think something therapeutic can come out of this. For
I don't
sure.
know. For other people, really, I don't give a fuck. That's the fucking past. This is my life. It fucking just happened. My life
Yeah.
happened to be and shit. I'm not trying to fucking make up shit and stuff and everything. It's just really, I just live a fucking interesting life, which I wish I'd never fucking live an interesting life.
Man, I think your life will be a whole lot more interesting if you fucking keep up with Cooking with the Sergeant, my man.
Yeah, if I get a lot of subscriber and shit, they keep on subscribing. If I get at least 1,000 subscribers, maybe 2,000, I will continue with that show.
Well, 1,000 subscribers is the number to get. That's when you get monetized.
I mean, I wasn't
Now-
monetized already and shit from 200 subscribers back then. I'm grandfather in.
Oh, so okay, so now they moved it up to. Oh, I didn't know it was only 200 back then. Okay.
No, it was back then 200. Yeah.
Oh, now it's
So-
1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, man. So Cooking with the Sergeant, I'm gonna be right there next to you, dressed as your private.
Yeah. But anyways, I want to give up a shout out to my buddies. Can I do that? Hello.
Bro, the camera's yours.
Oh shit. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Daddy Mario. Right? I know you with the fucking San Francisco fucking sheriff and shit, but there's a lot of shit that we did in the army like 17 years ago we can't talk about. But I still love you and shit. He's like the fucking top-notch K9 handler and the fucking SWAT fucking commander and shit. Fuck. So I want to give out a shout to you and shit. I don't forget. So I want to give a shout to Palacio. Hopefully this fucking podcast have transcript now, because you wanted the fucking transcript and shit.
The captions, yeah.
The caption and shit. Because a lot of people say that I remind them of what? Fucking Beetlejuice. And Boomhausen from the King of the Hill. Oh yeah, Beetlejuice from what's that fucking podcast? The
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern show and Joe Dirt combining into 3 and shit. So hopefully he put podcasts and shit and stuff and everything, right? So fuck. Give a shout out through Calvin. Help me get through the military too and shit. And fucking Min fam, you're awesome. You got me to do this shit. You guys were like brothers and shit. I don't really talk. Even Calvin taught me how to be a gamaholic, but we don't really talk about that shit. So the stories that we had fun, we're not gonna mention. And the stories that me and you, Min, we got lost and shit when I took you to the Bay Area, and well, we're not gonna talk about that shit too, anyways. But oh yeah, and thank you, Mama Llamas, for taking care of me and shit and helping me better myself, like back in the days. And then a beta too and shit. That's fucking retired. I miss you, guy. I miss you. Fuck, that's about it, bro.
Some solid shout outs, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to send a shout out to you right now. And thanks for coming over. Thanks for finishing this. Hey, thanks for speaking some very personal situations that you've been in. I mean, I hope you don't think I was prying about the gun incident. I know a lot of people would be curious about it, and I didn't think it was going to be all that bad to bring it up. So
because they don't know the story.
Yeah,
they just assume, but
well, I didn't know the full story, so I learned more because when your name comes up like that situation from way back then always comes into my head. But thank you for speaking on some of your personal stuff. I mean, I think it could be therapeutic to speak on it, and I'm glad you chose to talk about it with me present. You know, I got to know you a little bit more tonight. All right, my man. Come on, man. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. All right,
How was it you did?
no, it was great, brother. It was great.